Hi guys, welcome back to the channel Civic Education Minds. This is Teacher K. Today I want us to look at international trade. So from the subtopics that we have done, we have looked at the World Bank, we have looked at some of the definitions that we find in this topic. So today we will continue with international trade. What is international trade? Before we answer that, the international trade is also known as external trade or foreign trade. So if you're asked to say what is the other name for international trade, there is external trade and foreign trade, any of those. Now the definition that we'll go by in this lesson is international trade is the buying and selling of goods and services between two or more countries. So you find Zambia trading with China, Zambia trading with USA, or Zambia trading with India. That is buying and selling of goods or services between the two countries. It can be even more between Zambia and other countries. Now, there are a number of reasons as to why we engage in international trade. One, uneven distribution of resources. What do I mean? For example, when you look at Zambia, we have copper. We also have a lot of cars on our roads. So how do we get the oil that we don't have? We trade with countries that have got oil. For example, Kuwait. We can trade with Russia, we can trade with Nigeria or Angola or Saudi Arabia. These countries have got oil that we need for the many vehicles that we have on our roads. So we trade with those countries. The second point is there are climate differences. What do I mean? For example, when you go to the Mediterranean type of climate, you find that it allows for the growth of apples. Now, if it may allow for the growing of apples, the tropical does not. So you find that we are going to trade with countries that are falling in that Mediterranean type of climate so that we are able to have the apples that we may need in our countries. We can find a lot of examples on the different types of climates that we can find and to where they are found. Those of you that are doing geography, I'm sure this is something that is very familiar. The other point is that there's specialization. Some countries become specialized in certain goods or services. You will not find a country that is going to specialize in everything. And because of that, we find ourselves trading with countries that are good in producing this. Now, there's a term that we find when we're talking about this point, and that is comparative cost advantage. So what is comparative cost advantage? Well, this happens when the average cost of producing a particular commodity in one country is cheaper than in another. So when you're able to produce a product at a cheaper price, you are at an advantage than a country that is going to produce the same product but more expensive than you. So because it's cheaper for you to produce, you're at an advantage and you should produce that more, and the other country should produce what is cheaper for it to produce, and you engage in international trade. The other point is supplement domestic product. Now we need to supplement what we already have in our country. So let's say, for example, we have a high demand of cooking oil on our Zambian market, but we're not able to have enough produced in the country. So what do? We engage in international trade. So the high demand on the local products equals import so that we can add to our production. The other point is we earn foreign exchange, which is very true. When we trade with other countries, we are going to earn more foreign exchange. And when we earn foreign exchange, it means we're going to have more stability of our economy. I mean, it's going to make us some money, at least, that we're going to be able to pay the workers in Zambia, or even encourage us to invest more or to even produce more. The other point is technological differences. When we trade with other countries, let's say for example, we want to buy cars, we want to buy aircrafts. We don't produce those in Zambia. Now, because there are countries that are more technologically advanced than Zambia, we trade with those countries. So, for example, when we talk about mining machinery, we have copper that we produce in the country, but we're not able to produce the machinery that we need for the mining. We need computers. These computers are coming from countries that are at an advantage in terms of technology, and we get them from these countries. So we trade internationally with these countries. The other point is it helps to promote international cooperation. Now, this is our last point. One, it promotes peace, international peace. You trade with the countries that we trade with, it's going to give us international peace generally. And then also there's cooperation and political friendship as a result of international trade. So these are some of the reasons as to why we engage in international trade. Now, there could be more advantages of international trade. So the best is for us to do more research on this. And when we do research, we're going to come up with a lot of examples. Thank you for being with me. I'll see you next time.